everyone, I'm Mark Hennis and you're watching the Skilled Pilot Show, and today I'm here with Elizabeth Hansey. She is the Program Director of Angel Flight South Central. And Elizabeth, welcome on the show.
Thank you very much, Mark.
You're welcome. So today, well, first of all, I've got to say we have featured Angel Flight on our website before, and I really like what Angel Flight and the organization is doing. So that's why I'm here today again to interview Elizabeth about the organization. So Elizabeth, can you tell us some more about Angel Flight and what their mission is?
Sure. Our mission is to provide free air transportation for patients with critical illnesses that need treatment which is not available to them locally. So we use a network of about 1,000 pilots to help provide the free flights for them to get where they need to go to the treatment facilities and back home.
Mm-hmm.
And we started the organization in 1991 through a group of people that wanted to help their community.
Mm-hmm.
And we've flew about 100 missions in that first year, and to date we have flown over 35,000 missions.
Wow, that is great. 35,000 missions. And that's all by volunteer pilots, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so so if I would be a pilot that wants to volunteer for Angel Flight, what do I do? Do I sign up at the office, or can I do it online, or?
You can do it online, or you can call into our office and talk to our mission coordinator, Shireen. She helps arrange, get the pilots set up in our database, and they go through an orientation process, which is basically the paperwork, and then we need a copy of their insurance, and then they just go onto a teleconference, which we hold every Sunday night, and they can learn more about our system, how to use it, how to find the missions.
Cool.
And then we also set them up with emails every night. So they will see a list of the missions that are available for them from their specific airport or airports near where they live.
Oh, well, that's so they get training as well on how it all works, and that's great.
Yes, and we go through some of the safety requirements to make sure that if they get into a situation with weather, for example, it's entirely their call to make if they feel that it's safe enough to fly that patient or not.
Yeah, because it's always weather dependent, and the pilot has obviously the last saying in if he wants to take the flight or not. Yeah, all right, that's cool. Now, you said there are some qualifications or guidelines for a pilot. Does he need to have a minimum amount of hours or something like that?
Yes, each pilot needs to have a minimum of 250 hours. But other than that, that's basically the only requirement we have. Another question that comes up is, does a pilot have to own their own planes?
Okay.
That they don't necessarily need to. We do have some pilots that rent, but a lot of the time it is hard for them to rent a plane on somewhat short notice, since most of our patients are only required to notify us 7 days in advance of their need to fly.
Okay.
So, but that is an option if they choose to do so. And then they just have to have their license. They do not need to be IFR certified. Which is another big question that comes up. So our requirements are very minimal.
Yeah, that's great, because that way you get a lot of pilots that start flying and shuttle these patients around in the country.
Yes.
So we're based here in Texas right now. We're close to Addison Airport, and what if you are a pilot from a different state? Do you have a different division of Angel Flight there, or can you just register here even if you're in a different state, or do you have to register somewhere else?
So two things. The first is Angel Flight South Central covers Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, New Mexico, and Louisiana. So if there's a pilot within any of those states, then we would be the one to contact.
Yeah, gotcha.
If you live in a different state, there are other Angel Flight organizations across the country that we work with. We all collaborate because we do help patients. If someone's outside of our area,
Yes, of course.
we'll work with pilots who live in those different states, but they may be part of another organization. But if they aren't sure which one they need to go into,
Yeah.
then they can contact us and
Yeah.
we'll be happy to direct them to the right organization.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So we have talked about the pilots, but obviously the passengers that they will take, they mostly need medical treatment. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so they need to go to the hospital somewhere, probably like a couple of hours away if they would go by car.
Correct.
Yeah, I actually have two family members that also, they had cancer and they needed to travel far as well. And, it's a big burden on them to drive for 4 hours in a car.
Yes.
So I can totally see how that would have helped them if we would have known earlier, to contact you guys, and maybe there was an option that they could be flown to Houston or to Tulsa, because that's where they will probably, might go.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really neat what you guys are doing. That's really cool. Now, so how does it work on the patient side? Do they sign up at the website as well? And
Not necessarily. We ask them to go through their social workers. So particularly MD Anderson, we do have most of our patients travel to MD Anderson, especially from in the Texas area. So MD Anderson has a network of social workers. Each patient is assigned a social worker once they start to receive treatment at MD Anderson.
okay.
And the social workers are extremely familiar with our organization. They know all the paperwork, they know where to find it. But if in cases where the patients are not going to MD Anderson or a smaller facility, then the doctor or somebody at the hospital that's telling them they need this treatment elsewhere would complete the paperwork.
Okay.
So the patient just needs to work with their doctor or their social worker.
All right. And then they will schedule the flight in the system, and then the pilots, they log in and they see what is available, and if they see it suits them and they can do the flight, they will say, hey, I can do this flight, and they then probably check in online or call you guys and say, I can do that flight, and off they go.
Yes,
Yeah.
they can do it either way. We receive calls, or if they have questions. For example, if they want to take a patient and the patient is flying into their hometown but a different airport, they may ask, well, can I fly them into the airport where my plane is
Yes.
located? Because it costs a lot of money if it's a short distance for them
Yes.
to fly. And we're happy to make those accommodations and work with the patients on whether or not they can go to a different airport that's nearby.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and I read on your website that some FBOs, they actually waive like the landing fee or some other fees that are there, at the airport. So
Yes.
yeah, that's really nice that they all work together, and try to help out in their way. Elizabeth, do you have something else to say about the FBOs?
yes, we also have a Phillips 66 fuel reimbursement program. The pilots can go on to our website, complete a form, and basically they get a card that they must use, it's like a credit card,
Yeah.
to purchase the fuel at any Phillips 66 location. And then we send them the mission sheet to show that they actually flew a mission, it was for Angel Flight, and Phillips 66 will help reimburse them for their fuel.
That's nice.
It's more of a deduction, not 100% fuel reimbursement, but
Yeah.
they do reimburse them for some of the fuel that they've paid for.
Great. So, do you have a really nice story that you have heard of? I'm sure you have a lot of stories like, it was great that I could help out these people, or, from the patient side, like it was so nice that these people helped me. I'm sure you have some great stories.
Yes, one that stands out right now is we flew a World War II veteran. He was 91 years old, and it was his second time fighting cancer. And the pilot was flying him from Abilene to Houston. Well, they flew over Fort Hood, where a lot of the Army tanks are. And he started telling the pilot how he was a tank commander in World War II and went all the way from Normandy through southern Germany during his tour over there. And here's this veteran that he was able to help get treatment. And it was a really neat story for the pilot to listen to as well. And so it's amazing the people that you help. You never know who they are or what stories they may have and experiences in their life as well that make it really special for the pilots to fly.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and all the patients, they are happy to get all this help and get flown around the country. That's amazing. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and they are very grateful. They're very appreciative. They'll try, as you know, the FAA does not allow the pilots to be reimbursed for anything without it being considered a commercial flight.
Correct, yeah.
So the passengers will still try. They'll try and give them a little gift card and to Lowe's, or just to try and show their appreciation. And they want to do something to help the pilots and show that they really are grateful for what they do for them. But we have drawings little girls have made thanking the pilots, which those they can take. But
yeah, very cool. Now, well, to wrap this up, do you want to tell our viewers something that I missed, or something that you want to tell our viewers?
I guess the biggest thing is that these pilots make this possible. So we could not do this without their help, and they donate, not only their airplane and the cost of fuel and the cost to maintain their planes and everything else that goes into a flight, but they also donate their time to do this. And I just want to emphasize that we are very, very grateful for everything that they have done to be able to help these people who either wouldn't receive treatment at all if they couldn't get there, or they would be driving 8 to 10 hours to get there. So it means a lot to the people that are receiving this, but it also means a lot to us to be able to be part of such a great organization.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys are a great organization. We want as many pilots as possible to help Angel Flight, and so look up their website. I think it's angelflightsc.org.
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah. And you will also find them on Facebook and on Twitter. And go sign up, go check it out, and you can make a difference. You can help people get to their destination. Elizabeth, thank you for being on the show, and I hope to see you another time with it, and then I can do another interview with Angel Flight. I appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark.
You're welcome. For our viewers, please go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel, and make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, because that's where we will send out more episodes.